Good afternoon. This is Bruce Adams from Aftermarket Business World magazine, and I'm pleased to tell you today that we have Don Welsh, the President and CEO of Choose Chicago, with us on today's Google Hangout. And Don is going to tell us a little bit about doing business in Chicago and at McCormick Place for the upcoming Automechanika Chicago, which is April 24th through 26th of 2015. At one time, the city of Chicago and McCormick Place was not considered to be a business-friendly location. We understand that that has changed through joint cooperation between the city and through labor organizations. Can you tell us a little about the Exhibitors' Bill of Rights at McCormick Place?
Good afternoon, Bruce. First of all, it's my pleasure. And before I respond to that question, I did want to say we are thrilled and honored to welcome Automechanika to Chicago in April 2015. So we look forward to seeing you all in the not-too-distant future. You know, if I could, I probably need to go back about 5 years, and I'll be very brief getting up to where we are today. But these changes that you alluded to were basically changes that were driven by our major customers here in Chicago. For about 5 years, they more or less said that, number one, our labor rates weren't in place, the service, the philosophy, the customer service, the exhibitor rights within Chicago, specifically McCormick Place, were not competitive with many other cities around the country and around the world. And they actually gave us a deadline and said you needed to fix it a few years ago or else we were going to leave Chicago. And as you can imagine, with one of the largest convention facilities in the world and customers that had been here for 40 and 50 consecutive years, that really struck home, and it struck home to our mayor, our governor, our labor partners, and everybody else really involved in this industry. And the good news is not only did it strike a nerve, it struck action. And within a short period of time after Mayor Rahm Emanuel was elected, and he was elected a little bit over 3 years ago, he convened, of course, first and foremost, our customers to hear directly from them. Then he quickly gathered our major labor partners and those that had a stake to fixing Chicago's ails of the past. So we came together, and within a short period of time, we came up with a very comprehensive list of exhibitors' work of rules of change that led to more or less a radical change in terms of what we as a city, and I'm holding a brochure right now, that if you want some of the specifics that I'm alluding to today, you can simply go to choosechicago.com and you'll be able to see the Bill of Rights for exhibitors and convention attendees coming into the city. They were radical and far-sweeping. They had to do everything from the hours of operation in terms of the straight time hours within our unions. It had to change in terms of who was going to be operating our building. We also heard that we needed greater efficiencies and greater service, customer service within McCormick Place. We hired SMG. We also heard that basically we weren't really flexible in how we did business, whether it was on food and beverage. And we also outsourced that, and we now are operating our food and beverage with Sabre. Scores have radically gone up. And I guess probably in terms of the proof is in the pudding, as we all say, all of these changes were basically enacted in less than 3 years. And I'm pleased to say that we now have new and retained business of about $6 billion on our books here in Chicago as a result of those changes. And had we not done it, I don't think we'd be sitting here with you talking today about the exciting Automechanika show, or many of the other customers that have re-signed in Chicago.
Thank you, Don. How has flexible scheduling at McCormick Place benefited exhibitors?
You know, I'm going to allude to this Bill of Rights that we've given. And the first and foremost, there is a Bill of Rights that simply says show managers and exhibitors can perform their own work in any size booth using their own ladders or hand tools, cordless tools, power tools, or other tools designated by MPEA. This is probably the single biggest change that we made in the building. Then if you go on, it will talk about the expanded straight time. It will talk about the use of personal vehicles. If you can imagine this in Chicago now, you can pull right up to the loading dock, whether you have an SUV, whether you've got a trailer. You can unload that on our loading dock. You can get it to your space by yourself. And if you choose to use basically labor, they're available for you. We had crew size reductions. Before, literally in some cases, it would take 2, 3, 4 people to perform the task of 1 or 2. Now we've radically addressed that as well. We've also now included the electricians and the stagehands. as we went forward and deeper into the reforms. So one of the biggest things came back in terms of the straight time hours were expanded Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And before it used to be 8 to 4:30. So this is just a major example of what's occurred here. But again, for more information and detailed information, you can certainly find it on our website. And hopefully when the exhibitors come in, we'll have a chance to personally welcome them and talk about these specific rules and what's important to them as well.
Thank you, Don. That's an impressive list of reforms you went over. Did I understand you to say that exhibitors can actually operate and load and unload their own cars and SUVs in McCormick Place now? Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. And that was probably, again, if you think about 3-4 years ago, that would be unheard of here in Chicago. And along with the reforms with our labor partners, that came as to be one of the biggest changes. And again, I must tell you, for the smaller exhibitors, that has been a major, major, major change. And it is law, not a contract. This is legally bound into a legal agreement here in Chicago.
Okay, very good. Well, beyond the flexible scheduling and the Exhibitor Bill of Rights, what else makes McCormick Place a great place for exhibitors to conduct business during a trade show?
Well, you know, when you think about Chicago, you know, inevitably McCormick being 2.6 million square feet, one of the largest convention facilities in the world, you know, the two sort of go hand in hand together. The campus keeps getting bigger and better. And one of the changes that we've just made recently, we opened the second tower at the Hyatt, which now gives us 1,200 rooms there. We also have, we made a very important decision to make it easier for people to get back and forth between downtown and the building itself. So when the exhibitors come here, they'll find convenient, frequent transportation on our train system, Metro, going directly into the system. Many years ago, we opened up dedicated bus lanes. In addition to the surface streets and buses and cars coming into the building, we also have an incredible bus lane that's an express bus lane, runs basically parallel to the trains coming in and out of the city through a dedicated tunnel that's only opened when conventions are in town to make the drive from the downtown hotels to the campus within 5 to 7 minutes. You start thinking about Chicago, both in the building and outside the building, food is something that's very important to us. You think about Chicago, we have over 3,000 restaurants and taverns and bars and entertainment facilities in the downtown core. So in terms of the whole package, and of course we have some of the greatest hotels in the world. This year alone we're ranked, we have 5 of the top 10 hotel brands in the world, hotels that have been recognized by every major publication. So you're going to find a very, very dense, walkable downtown, great shopping, great restaurants, great attractions, if people have time to take in the city in addition to being here for business purposes. But I think these are the reasons why that we've got about $6 billion worth of business on the books and why we're able to serve customers 40, 50 consecutive years. And it's just a complete package, including great entertainment.
Thank you, Don. That is an impressive list of services and amenities available to exhibitors and showgoers at McCormick Place. Once again, this has been Bruce Adams with Aftermarket Business World. I've been talking to Don Welsh, the President and CEO of Choose Chicago, about the upcoming Automechanika Chicago show, April 24th through 26th, 2015, at McCormick Place. This is Bruce Adams signing off. Don, thanks to you once again.
My pleasure, Bruce. Thank you. We'll see you all in April.
Okay.